Hello everyone, and I welcome all of you to Online Study for You, a complete placement solution. So friends, today we have Ekta Kumari here, and she has cleared TCS NQT 2021. So first of all, I would like to congratulate Ekta for cracking TCS NQT. So congratulations,
Thank you.
Ekta.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so today she is going to share her experience, like what all the things she faced during her written examination and her interview. So including the internet problem also she faced. So all those things, yeah, definitely we are going to discuss. So I'll give the floor to Ekta. So she is a CSE graduate of 2021, and she has got placed this year. Yeah, Ekta. So you can,
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, sir, for inviting me here for an interview.
welcome.
So basically, I'll start like from the written test preparation. So my exam was scheduled on 25th of October, and I
Okay.
started my preparation not very long back. I guess I started about 2 months ago. That's it. And before that, I was, not very good at aptitude. So like I could not solve like very high level aptitude, but like then I referred to some of the YouTube videos, and fortunately I came across online study for you.
Yeah.
And yes, so I would say that if I watched a 10-minute video, all the 10 minutes are properly utilized. Like it's so efficient, and I would say that in those 2 months, I like the level of my aptitude reached from here to here. So I would also like to say that if we talk about the technical side and the programming MCQs or coding questions, so they were not that big a deal for me to prepare. The only thing I was worried about was, to be honest, was the aptitude round. So, but fortunately, as I said, that I got to know about the channel in a very reasonable time. And I would also like to share one thing that you have to keep practicing aptitude. Like if you practice for 10 days and you leave the flow, then I guess that you would suffer in the long run. And
True,
talking
true.
about TCS NQT exams, the level of the questions were definitely easy to moderate. It was not very tough or very easy. The level of the quantitative questions were easy to moderate. Same applies for the reasoning questions. And coming to English was, I guess, I found it easy. It was not
Yeah,
even
your
moderate. I
even your
found it really
communication is
easy.
good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
So,
one
and
question I have
talking
here. So you did not face any kind of the server issues during your examination, or it was
I
rescheduled?
yes, sir. I would surely come to that. There was this interesting thing that during my as I said, my interview was scheduled on the 25th of October, and people giving their exams on 24th as well on the 26th faced a horrible internet issue, and I was lucky enough that my uh, exam was scheduled on 25th. I guess the test was for 3 hours or so 36 minutes. I do not remember well. Approximately 3 hours, sir. So
Yes, yes.
like during like the first 1.5 hours, I was like, okay, fine, what if the internet goes down, but and I was a bit of petrified, like so as we all know, the guidelines that was published by TCS, that you're
Even
not
we had
supposed
made
to
some
report.
spoof also for that
Yes, sir,
guidance.
exactly. I was coming to that as well. So that was hilarious. And I'm being very honest. I used to put my notebook like this and was like, yeah, yes, see, I'm doing, because I was so terrified. I was not even, I did not even dare to roll my eyes. So that was one issue. But I would say that the exam was not very tough and not very easy. It was moderate overall. So the
Okay.
programming MCQs, I guess there were 15 questions. They were pretty easy for me. And coming to the coding round, we had two questions. So I was able to solve one of them. I passed the test cases. And for the second one, initially I was getting compilation error. And although I solved the second question too, but it did not pass the test cases, and the time was also running out.
Which language
So
you had used?
fortunately, sorry, sir.
What was the language
Yes, I
you?
use Java. I have been using Java like all
Okay,
my life.
because
So
Python, I have learned from many people that
yes, sir. Yes.
there was some compiler
Many
issue.
people faced issues. So, and also talking about the compiler, it was not very supportive. They like the, the way the compiler works, that could be changed. like the
Definitely,
compiler was not
next
able.
year they should come up with some
Yes,
good
sir.
solutions. So according to
This
you,
is
like the things were moderate. So reasoning questions,
yes,
yeah, reasoning aptitude and English, I don't know much about that. So as you said, that was also moderate. And in coding, so the one of the test case it didn't pass, right, because of the compiler one.
yes, sir.
Okay.
And one more thing, talking about the coding questions, so they are not of very advanced level.
Mhm.
The only thing like the candidates can do is they can refer to previous year questions. So that is very important. That was one thing which I did not do. I was preparing on like in my own flow, but you have to keep in mind the company which you are preparing for, because to be
True,
honest,
true.
TCS doesn't ask very high level programming questions. They only ask, there's a predefined set of questions that they can ask. So you
Mhm.
have to refer to previous year questions,
Okay.
especially for coding.
Okay, great. Okay. Then
Yes,
after how many days you got the result and when your interview happened? Because till now also the interview is going on and there are
exactly,
many
sir.
people who are really worried for the results. So TCS, like, they will be even giving the result in January as well. So,
Exactly, sir. So yes, sir, I'm coming to that. So there's another interesting story. I guess I got the email on 10th of November that I have cleared the NQT
mhm,
test, and the talent acquisition team would soon be contacting me. So for the first, I was obviously very delighted. So
mhm,
it was like, for the first initial week I started preparing for the interview vigorously. I
mhm,
went through my resume, I started listing down all the things that I had mentioned on the resume. I was watching a previous interview experience, but after like 1 week passed, you know, kind of started losing hope. Well, whether will they even contact me this year or not? So I kind of lost a bit of hope that okay, fine, let's see what happens. So I kind of lost track, and I started doing other things like related to my academics, since I'm a final year student. So
mhm,
it was on 11th of December that
mhm.
TCS has this habit. They send you mails at 2 o'clock or three
11th of
o'clock in the
December.
night.
Also,
Yes, the
your
12th of
interview also
December.
happened some days before only. Okay, okay.
Yes, on the 12th itself. And I
Okay,
came
okay.
to know at 8 in the morning. Like, they sent a mail at 11, at 12, at 2 o'clock in the night.
Mhm,
So, first of all, I was really, really nervous before my interview. Like, I got to know at 8 that my interview would be taking place at 10.
mhm,
So, but anyhow, I was, confident with my project. So, as of then, like, I had two projects on my resume. So I like in those 2 hours I started referring to every interview experience of TCS. I started contacting my friends from other college ki, what are they asking, like what
okay.
is the level of question, what are they checking, and everything.
Mhm,
So like I was confident with oops,
mhm,
Java,
mhm,
machine learning, and
mhm,
Flutter development.
mhm,
And unfortunately I was asked, I mean, I was not asked even a single question from all these fields.
mhm,
So when the interview started, first of all they asked me, tell me something about yourself, how are you doing. So I answered like in in a generalized way.
mhm,
So
mhm,
then the technical round began, and
mhm,
so sir started asking me questions related to DBMS.
mhm,
And for my part, I personally did not like DBMS much. I even, cracked the joke, sir. Like, I did not like DBMS much. I ended up getting a B last semester, so it was not
mhm,
my favorite subject. So,
mhm,
like, he asked, I guess, 5 to 6 questions from DBMS,
mhm,
and
mhm,
I was answered. I think I was able to answer 4 or 5 of them. So that
mhm,
is nothing to be worried about. Even if you don't know any answer, you can simply tell them in a polite manner, sir, I cannot recall at the moment. So I
mhm.
did this instead of beating around the bush, sir. I remembered.
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
this
Making the
that.
stories and
So
other
you
things. Yeah.
be very confident, be very clear, and like one thing also I would like to mention, sir, they are very polite,
Mhm,
like, I mean, very well behaved. If you, even if you don't know, like, they won't mind. So they moved to asking questions from Python and Flutter, like, since I had
mhm,
done a few projects on that as well. So
mhm,
they asked me questions related to Python. So for Python I was luckily able to answer all. For
mhm,
DBMS I could answer like only 4 to 5 out of 6 or 7 they asked. And
mhm.
the technical round was, I guess, 8 on 10. Then coming to the MR, the managerial round.
Okay.
So initially the sir started asking me questions related to my project.
Mhm,
So since the Flutter is quite a new technology, so he
mhm,
I think like not everyone is very familiar to that domain.
It's kind
He
of
started asking
Flutter is like
that.
I am just curious a little bit to know understand that because I also don't know. So Flutter is
Yes.
like there is some tool or like how it is.
So it's a framework that is used for mobile application development, cross mobile application development that can
Okay,
be run
correct,
with a
correct.
single
Because I
code
have
base or
heard
multi.
about that. So generally, like in this Android mobile devices, they use
Yes, sir.
it like ADB tools and other things. They use it, right?
Hmm. Right, right. So
Yes,
he
yes.
asked very basic questions related to that,
Hmm.
and then there was some, situational questions like how would you take criticism on your part. So that was a very good chance for me
Hmm.
to bring out the experience which I had in past. So I brought up a story like
Hmm.
I was doing internship at a company, and I was, I faced one. There was one time that I faced criticism, but eventually, if you end up solving a problem on your own, so criticism thoda chalta hai. So that
Correct,
was
correct.
my take on that.
Okay.
And there were also questions related to relocation and shift. So yeah, see, if you're willing to get a job, you should definitely not say no. You should be very polite. You should accept ki, yes, I'm willing to relocate,
Yes,
and
yes, and
I
even
am
they will not send also. They will. That is just some
yeah,
standard
right,
set of questions that will be thrown to you. Yeah.
exactly, sir. So the interview lasted only around 20 minutes. It was very interacting, very polite and everything. It was not something to be scared of. So yeah, so the HR round began like, are you willing to relocate, and like why do you want to join TCS? So that's important. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are your long
True,
term
true.
goals? So yeah, so I had like since I am from a
So what did
CSE
you answer
background.
for that?
Yes,
Why do you
yeah,
want to join
that's what.
TCS?
Yes, sir. So since, sir, I am from a CSE background,
Mm-hmm.
I have done computer science engineering, and I
Okay.
do not want myself to end up at some sales or marketing, sir. I want to be in core, because that is why I did
But
computer science engineering.
see, I
Right.
don't want to, do a cross question. But here they can also ask, see, there are, multiple MNCs are there. But why TCS? So the exact question
So
is why
they
TCS?
actually, fortunately, they did not go that long. So I said like TCS is a very a nice company to work. It gives you exposure. There's this very nice learning environment. There's good
Okay.
support, and
Then that
I
is
have
good.
other. Yes, sir. So I gave some examples of some relatives working at
There
TCS.
are many cases they will start pulling like why other companies, Google and all, they don't give the proper environment and other things. So there are many, HR round. It happens. For me, it
Yes,
had
sir.
happened in Wipro a long time back. So it's like
Right, sir.
yeah, it will.
People say that it even depends on what kind of panel you are
Yes,
getting
yes,
and
true, true,
everything.
true, true, true.
So
But
I
TCS,
guess
I
my
think most
panel
of the
was
people are very cool because TCS, I have
they
never heard
yes,
this
they
kind.
were extremely cool. I guess all of them were interviewing from their homes as well. All of them had their cameras turned off, and luckily it was 10 in the morning. So definitely the first panel,
Mhm.
they haven't got bored or something, frustrated. Like, I
True,
have
true.
interviewed so many people. Yes, so I was very lucky that it was scheduled early in the morning. So
Mhm.
yes, sir. So
Okay.
he asked, "What are your long-term goals?" So I said, I at least want to, like be a developer for at least the next 5 years. Then I have plans for my masters, MTech for sure. I'll be appearing for GATE in like after 5 years and everything.
Okay. So I
So
mean that is yeah. Okay, but that is not a very correct answer if you'll see. So you
yeah,
should.
that's what I was a bit terrified. Like, what if I would rate myself like I got around 7 out of 10 on my overall interview process.
But you are able
But
to like answer for all the questions like in technical, right? I mean,
yes, sir.
yeah.
Apart from two questions, I was
See,
able to
they
answer.
combinedly, they combinedly get the feedback and then they go ahead with
Yes,
that. So that's great.
yes, sir. Mm.
So what are the tips and tricks you wanted to give it to a student? Because right now there are many students who did not make it to TCS and they are really devastated at this moment of time. So I just wanted to you should tell some tips. You should give some tips and like a bit of motivation to them so that they again
I
start
Yes, sir.
because there are multiple exams coming on. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. Yes, sir. So I would like to say, like, I completely understand your situation right now. It's okay to be devastated for a while, but like, there are up tons of companies out there. I mean, to name a few, Wipro is starting their drive in January, mid-January, I think.
Yes,
And
yes.
not just TCS, it is not limited to one company. You still have opportunities. Some people get it sooner, some people get it later, maybe around 4 months, 5 months, or within a year. Like if you are working hard, if you have dedication, if you are sincere towards your goal, you will definitely get it. Your
True,
hard work won't go in vain.
true,
Even I used to feel like that like my semester is about to end, I'm still nowhere close to placements. And I was scared, as I belonged from a tier 3 college.
Oh, you are also from tier 3 college?
Yes, sir.
Because that's it's getting placed from tier 3, like, will be okay, kind of, boon. So for
Exactly,
right now, for the students, see, once you get one company, then your confidence will develop and you can try out for the
exactly,
other
sir.
companies. Yeah.
Hmm. So people who have not yet received the interview calls, don't worry. Like I got mine a month late, and people are still, TCS interviews are still going on. Even if your interviews are done, your results would be, sooner or later, it will be published to you. One of my friends from college, he did not receive the mails that he got shortlisted,
Mhm.
but on the day of interview, his name was there in the list.
Oh,
So
that is
that
strange.
that is a glitch. That is a glitch. That is a disadvantage as well as an advantage, that he got demotivated, that I did not get selected and everything. But there are some glitches. But
Mhm.
for the preparation part, don't take too much of stress. Just be clear with your concepts for the written test. You don't need to study for like for 1 year or 2 year. Just prepare at least 2 to 3 hours per day. Give it time.
Mhm.
Study. Ultimately, when you go inside a company, you have to focus on development. So even if you have mentioned 2 or 3 things on the resume, be thorough with that. Be confident. And
Mhm.
there's nothing to be nervous in the interview. I was a bit of nervous before my interview, but overall the panel is and everyone is very cool. They won't judge you, or they won't discourage, or else they won't shout on you if you're not able to get a few questions right. So
Mhm.
overall experience was really great, sir. And talking about the glitches, internet glitches, uh, the internet on my interview day was really horrible, like really really horrible.
Mhm.
That was one thing. That was the first bad. We say first impression is the last impression. Now I just hope that let's just let me just hope that they do not reject me on the basis of that. I'm not sure whether they even heard my answers like properly or not, whether they able to see me or not.
Mhm.
Things like this happen. But just be confident, be ready to prove whatever you have written on
So
your
for you,
resume.
because one of our student, for her, the interview was conducted second time. So the very first day, like when the TCS conducted interview, so the internet was not good. So it went like they were able to hear half, they were not able to hear. So again, they rescheduled after a month time. So TCS is doing all those things. So that's what when some students ask, "Sir, I have done this. So, sir, what should we do now? Why we are not getting the result?" So I will just tell them, be cool and wait for
Be
some
cool
time.
and be patient.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, because for
That's
that
what.
girl, so they did the interview again after a month. So she had lost all her hopes, and because the internet was not good and the interview did not go well, because they were asking again and again the same thing. So again after a month, they conducted, and this time her interview is also went well, and she's already placed in Cognizant and waiting for TCS. Yeah, so
That
all
is
those things
that
are
is
happening.
nice.
Yeah.
I just want to add one more thing. Don't lose hope. My results were declared on the 10th of November, and I got an interview call after 1 month, after losing all the hope. So when it comes to TCS, you should not lose hope till the last very minute.
True, true, true.
If you have faith in yourself, you will definitely get placed in a good company. That's all, sir.
So thanks, Ekta, to coming to our platform and guiding the student. And so through comments also, I hope you will be guiding the students because they will have a lot of queries, and that
Thank you,
that
sir.
might you can help them on that as well. So
Sure, sure,
thanks
sir.
once again, and congratulations and all the best for your future.
Thank you, sir.